what's, first of all, the total amount of insurance coverage for the Tokyo 2020 Olympics?
Hi, Sherry. Now, the coverage for insurance globally, it's roughly between $2 to $3 billion, depending on where we start the coverage from. I think the argument is a lot of the insurance payouts actually started back in 2020 instead of now. So to give you an idea, with the breakdown of that $2 to $3 billion, most of the most impactful area would be a TV broadcast, which amount to about 800 million coverage. And then the next big one, of course, is ticket sales, another 800 million for local organizers, the Tokyo Olympics.
So given that it's mostly, in fact, an entirely fan-free Olympics, where would the claims be coming from?
Yeah, so there's definitely going to be some disruption into the hospitality, some of the sponsors. As you can see, many of them actually are pulling out of their ads and things like that. So that roughly adds up to another $500–600 million dollars. Now, if you break it down, the way the insurance works is that the Japanese peers are not the only one they're insuring these coverage, of course. So after we crunch some numbers, we realized that probably their exposure is roughly at about $250 million to maybe maximum $500 million across the three major P&C insurers in Japan.
So what does that mean then for their bottom line?
Yeah, actually, they'll be fine. Those claims, if those happens, roughly translate to about 3 to 6% of their adjusted profit forecasted for this year. So this is actually quite manageable. If you compare that to other bigger typhoons or even severe floods, that could even go higher, up to the billions.
So you've previously said that dividends and buybacks will be pretty robust for these insurers. Would the Olympics and any claims from that change that?
Not really, actually. That's a good question because, what we realize is that the Japanese insurers actually are leading in terms of total capital return. That's dividends and buybacks included. To give you an idea, right now, even after factoring in those claims, we're projecting about 6.5% in terms of total capital return across the three big players. They're already sitting at top of the range within the Asian peers. And if you compare that to global benchmarks like the FTSE 1000 or the S&P 500, they're still way above those. For example, for S&P, if you add the dividends and the buybacks together, it gives you roughly about 3%. So, it's still a wide spread, versus some of the other global major indices.